Welcome to Instrukt. Let's get started with your owner setup. The first time you open Instrukt, your view will look like this. Instrukt opens to your schedule view. All classes in your MindBody account are shown in your Instrukt schedule. At this point, your classes have not been set up in Instrukt, so you will see a warning triangle on all classes. Sub requests cannot be made for classes that display the triangle warning icon. Instrukt setup is fast and easy. Let's get started. The setup process involves inviting your instructors to your Instrukt team, setting the class types and studio locations where each instructor is approved to sub, and assigning class types to your classes. Before we go further, let's take a few moments to discuss how Instrukt uses class types. Instrukt uses class type assignments to determine who is eligible to sub each of your classes. You can think of class types as the qualifications that are required to teach a class. For an instructor to be eligible to sub a class, they must be assigned to every class type that has been assigned to the class. Before we set up instructors and classes, let's make sure we have the class types we're going to need. All of your setup is done in the Studio tab. Tap on it, then tap on your Settings tab, and then tap on Set Studio Class Types. The class types selected in this setting define which class types you have available to assign to your classes and instructors. During your initial account setup, you were asked to select the studio class types you wanted to use for your studio. You will see the class types you selected during setup here. If you need to add or remove any, you can do so here. We also have a prenatal yoga class on our schedule, so let's add prenatal, postnatal to our class type list. We also have an advanced version of yoga class. Let's add class type A to our studio class types as well. We'll use this modifier to assign to the advanced class and only to the instructors who can teach the advanced class. Tap on the back arrow to exit the studio class type list. Now, with a better understanding of how Instrukt uses class types, let's proceed with the setup. Tap on the Instructor tab. A list of your instructors in MindBody is shown in this tab. The instructor list is split into two groups, verified and unverified. The verified list is at the bottom and includes all instructors whose setup is complete and who have accepted the invite to your Instrukt team. Note the icon to the right of the instructor and the badge on the Instructor tab. These icons indicate the setup status of the instructor. Tap on the name of the instructor you want to set up. We'll tap on Kristen at the top of the list to open the instructor's profile screen. At the bottom of the screen, the instructor's email address from the MindBody account is displayed. If desired, you can edit the email address by tapping on it. Tap on the Send Invite button to invite this instructor to your Instrukt team. Inviting instructors links their profile in your MindBody account to their Instrukt account. This is how Instrukt knows who is who. When you invite an instructor, they receive an email that explains that you are now using Instrukt to make your sub process easy. The email includes a link to download Instrukt and a button to accept the invite to your Instrukt team. After sending the invite, a screen is displayed where you set the instructor's class types. Select the class types you approve the instructor to sub. We'll approve this instructor to sub all class types except class type A at this studio. The instructor will not be able to sub any classes which you assign class type A. When you're finished selecting class types, tap on Locations at the top of the list. If you have only one location, it will be selected by default. If you have more than one location, select the locations where this instructor is approved to sub. We'll approve this instructor to sub at both locations. Tap Done to return to the instructor's profile. Note that the instructor has been invited, the locations you've approved them to sub are listed, and the class types you've approved them to sub are shown. Tap on the back arrow to return to the instructor's list. Note that Kristen now has a question mark icon next to her name. This indicates that you are waiting for the instructor to accept the invite to your Instrukt team. After the invite is accepted, the icon will update to a check mark, and the instructor's name will be moved to the bottom of the list under the verified header. Once verified, an instructor is ready to sub classes. Tap on the next instructor to continue with setup. We'll go through the same process with Brandon. Tap Send Invite. Brandon does not teach pre-postnatal classes, but he is approved to teach the Class Type A Advanced class. This instructor will not see sub-requests for classes which you assign the prenatal postnatal class to. Tap on Locations. This instructor only teaches at Clubville, so we'll only select that location. This instructor will not see any sub-requests for classes at the Fitteville location. Tap Done and note the invited status, the class types, and location Brandon is approved to teach. Tap the back arrow to return to your instructor list. Continue this process for all of your instructors. Owners and managers who also teach classes and want to accept sub-requests must also be invited and set up using the same process you use for your instructors. Next, we'll set up our classes. Tap on the Classes tab. The classes list has the same verified, unverified headers and icons similar to the instructor's list. Tap on the first class you want to set up. We'll start with this Yin Yoga class. Tapping on the class opens a screen that shows the class details. Tap on Edit in the upper right corner. Assign the class type Yin Yoga to this class. Any instructor who is assigned Yin Yoga is approved to sub it. In most cases, classes should only have one class type. Occasionally, when you need some additional differentiation, a second class type can be added. We'll see an example of this in a minute. Tap Done to return to the class detail screen. The class type you assigned is shown here. Tap the back arrow to return to the classes list. Tap on the next class you want to set up. We'll set up this beginner yoga class next. Tap Edit. We'll use the yoga class type for this beginning yoga class. Any instructor who is assigned yoga is approved to sub it. Tap Done to return to the class detail screen. Tap the back arrow to return to the classes list. Now, let's set up this prenatal class. This class is primarily a flow yoga class, so we'll select the yoga flow class type. But to teach this class, instructors must be approved to teach prenatal, postnatal, so we'll select that class type as well. Tap Done to return to the class detail screen. You can see here that both class types have been assigned to this class. With two class types assigned to this class, only instructors who have both yoga flow and prenatal, postnatal will see any sub-request for this class. Brandon, the instructor we set up earlier, was approved to teach yoga flow, but not prenatal, postnatal. So he would never see a sub-request for this class. Continue until all classes have class types assigned to them. When all classes are set up, they will be moved under the verified header and a checkmark icon will appear at the right of the class name. Now that your owner setup is complete, you are now ready to start using Instrukt. If you have any additional questions, please reach out to us at support@instruktapp.com.